I haven't had the opportunity yet to personally read her findings or her draft of her findings. I do anticipate momentarily the judge will be filing her findings and her recommendations with the Court of Criminal Appeals. She will file them downstairs with our district clerk, who will then transmit that paperwork to the Court of Criminal Appeals, explaining exactly what her position is on Greg Kelley's case. For anyone that's followed this case, anyone that heard the live testimony, I think clearly if you weigh the evidence that existed at trial and you balance it against what we now know in this case, I think it's clear that no reasonable juror could find Mr. Kelley guilty today, knowing what we know now, comparing it to what we knew at the time of trial. So that's the position that we've agreed to. And we would call it an Elizondo claim, but it falls under what people would term as an actual innocence claim.
So is there a chance that, we could look at the other two suspects and maybe charges on them, or maybe a trial for that one?
I think it's highly unlikely that you will see charges stemming out of the Greg Kelley case, meaning children in that daycare being charged for this criminal offense. I have, however, let you know that I do anticipate other charges coming out against at least Mr. McCarty that are unrelated to the daycare, but not related to Mr. Kelley's case. And I don't see how we can try any one of the three potential suspects when you have two other viable suspects. And so to get to beyond a reasonable doubt on any one particular suspect would be nearly impossible without some sort of confession and being able to eliminate the other two suspects. It's very frustrating, and a term that we've used a couple of times is very unsatisfying you don't become a prosecutor, you don't become a police officer to let crimes go unsolved. And in many ways, this crime is going to go unsolved. And so, yes, it's very frustrating, very unsatisfying. And certainly there's a lot of things we wish would have happened 4 years ago, and they didn't happen. And all we can do is try to move forward from this and use the lessons that we learned from Greg Kelley's case and implement them in further investigations, future investigations and prosecutions.
This does bring Greg, as I say, one step closer to full exoneration. And it's, I have to say, it is extremely detailed. It is 44 pages, single-spaced. It is very strong. It is strongly worded, frankly, stronger than I had expected. So, and she's not just finding Greg to be innocent, she's also finding that the Cedar Park Police Department conducted a bad faith and reckless investigation. She's also found that he was denied the effective assistance of counsel due to a conflict of interest and due to her advice for him to waive his appeal in light of the insufficiency of the evidence. The judge's findings and conclusions here are so strong, I don't see how the Court of Criminal Appeals is going to disagree with these. She did a truly outstanding job.
And to do that, I mean, how big of an ordeal is that? Can they just do that right away, or does that take years?
No, it's doubtful it will take years. It will definitely take months. In part, they have to review the record, and both the trial record and the post-conviction record is very lengthy. They're up to, I think, 7 to 9 volumes in there on the post-conviction stuff alone. We also took many depositions. I've actually lost count of the number of depositions that we did after the August hearing. So all of that has to be reviewed and then an opinion drafted up. The court actually doesn't have to do that, but I don't see how they would not do that in light of how extraordinary this case is.